Yes, welcome back to the Football Terrace. We appreciate you all tuning in. We really, really do. Hit the like button, hit the share button. We're here to talk transfers. We're here to talk about this, I'm going to say, obscure story that has appeared this afternoon. We had another agenda for this evening's show, and then this has come up. My DMs have been flying off the hook. I spent some time reading articles, researching this, but it started trending on social media. It's all come out of the Sports Witness account here. But Wolverhampton Wanderers are in pole position to sign Paulinho as he's moving to Wolves. And their take is that means that Raúl Jiménez is going to move to Manchester United. And to quote, this is from the United report, they said, Raúl Jiménez is on his way to Man United. Braga's Paulinho is on the verge of joining Wolves for £30 million as his replacement. Now, that is how this story is being sold to us by the mainstream media. When you go on to, this is Lucas Sporzitzo has published the article on Sports Witness, and Wolves signing strongly backed up as imminent with Raúl Jiménez on his way to Manchester United. So it's interesting, you know, they're signing. This isn't they're buying backup. This isn't Wolves are strengthening their attacking line. This is being reported out of Portugal as being a direct replacement for Raúl Jiménez because he is joining Manchester United Football Club. What's interesting about this, from my point of view, we haven't seen the likes of Fabrizio Romano, Simon Stone, Damasio, none of the absolute big hitters. You know, none of the major newspapers within the UK have picked up on this at all. None of even the regional newspapers in Wolverhampton, Birmingham, the Midlands area have picked up on this. So I am rather skeptical. But I do want your views and opinions on two elements of this deal. One, how credible do you think it is? How credible do you think it is? And secondly, would you like Jimenez at Man United? If you're a Man United fan, would you like him? If you're a rival, what does he do to the club? If you want to phone into the show, call us on Skype now. Most of you have our Skype details. Just search Football Terrace. You'll see our brand. You'll see our logo on there. So make sure you tune into it. A lot of people here saying they don't believe that it's true. I'm as skeptical as you. Now, if somebody can change my mind on this, please do. That's what we're here for. This is what the community exists for, to discuss these deals. Let's go through the story in a bit more detail, though, before we take any phone calls here. Before we go to any of these calls. It says here, Paulinho's move from Braga to Wolverhampton Wanderers continues to be reported on by the Portuguese press. The report is very similar out of all Portuguese press. They say that it's Jorge Mendes who is handling the deal, and for claiming that Nuno Espirito Santo sees Paulinho as a perfect replacement for Raúl Jiménez. And essentially, they just go on to talk about the Paulinho and how good he is, but they keep pulling on the fact that Raúl Jiménez is leaving and that he's going. It says here, regarding the Man United and Raúl Jiménez claim, at first it seemed to be something of an assumption based on an earlier rumor. So it's intriguing that RTP, who aren't usually prone to gossip, insist that the player is on his way to join Ole Gunnar. And that's the interesting bit. RTP is who they were talking about here. That publication, I'd never heard of them, but as I say, according to sort of Portuguese press here and Sports Witness, RTP Sport are not an organization that are renowned, as they say, for gossip. So that's the interesting element here. They're not renowned for gossip. They're talking about it. Let's go to their article that's been published here. It says, Sporting de Braga striker Paulinho is on the verge of strengthening English side Wolverhampton Wanderers. The footballer heads to England on a €30 million deal to join the most Portuguese team in the league. The transfer, mediated by businessman Jorge Mendes, is practically concluded. The player was chosen by the Wolves coach Nuno Espirito Santo to replace Raúl Jiménez, who is on his way to Manchester United. They say that very matter of fact when they're talking here. And again, I'm going by what the media is saying here. The RTP Sport are not renowned for gossip. They're not a Metro or anyone along those lines that just kind of reiterate and regurgitate everything that's circulating. That's on them. We're going to delve into some of the calls here. First up, we've got Stephen Marshall. Stephen Marshall, who do you support and what do you think of this story?
Hey up, Terry. I support Chelsea. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I mean, what do you make of this Raúl Jiménez to Man United story that's kind of doing the rounds this evening?
I'm a bit surprised actually, because it seems to have come out of nowhere, doesn't it? But it'd be a great signing for Man United, I think.
It would be. I don't believe that it's true. Like, to get where I'm coming from, I'm not even trying to discredit this organization, RTP. It's just being spoken about so matter of fact, and there's nothing. I mean, it could be one of those deals. It could be really interesting. You know, the journalists could be reporting on this. In all honesty, they could have just been told that by somebody at Wolves or somebody at Braga. Maybe people have got the wrong end of the stick. But if it is true, I mean, it strengthens Manchester United massively. There is absolutely no doubt about that whatsoever. Again, it's an interesting one. As I say, it's come out of the blue. None of the major transfer experts have reported anything like this, so I'm skeptical. But at the same time, you have the element that RTP don't report on things that are gossip. You would expect a credible organization such as them to do a little bit of homework before publishing it, unless they've got it from a source that they trust. I mean, maybe their source literally is Jorge Mendes, who's been told this, and he would kind of be in the know. A few people here saying Simon Peach is someone who I'm not actually familiar with. So I'm going to search his name now. Has
Simon Peach is a credible one, Daddy.
Oh, is Simon Peach credible? Okay, cool. I'm not afraid of who everybody is. Okay, he is. Who does he work for?
He sits in the press conferences with.
He's PA Media. Okay, so he's debunked it, has he?
Yeah. I think I haven't seen his tweet. I saw in the comments.
Oh, someone here says anything on Raúl. Have you got something to say? He says, I would like to talk about something that doesn't appear. Goes, why would I talk about something that doesn't appear to be true, is what he said. Having said that, this is the thing with transfers. Every now and then you get hit with one out of the blue. And I'm not saying that Simon Peach isn't credible. He's probably highly credible. It's a bit like the guy we had earlier on today. So the gentleman that we had on to talk about the Sancho deal, he doesn't tweet about transfers every day, every week, every month, even every year. I was looking it up. He's basically spoken with assurances about 5 transfers in the past 3 years, and all 5 have happened. So there's an element of me that believes in somebody who doesn't talk about, unless you're Fabrizio Romano, who is literally the guy in Europe for transfers now. If you're someone that if you're a sports writer and you report on transfers every now and then, I almost feel it's a bit like when Henry Winter drops in things about Chilwell and Chelsea are a match made in heaven. It's a deal that Chelsea are really pushing forward for. Like, Henry Winter isn't somebody that talks about transfers every day, every month, or every season. So they have an air of credibility for me. I'm not challenging Simon Peach, but you never quite know. I remember Simon Stone telling us that United weren't even thinking about signing Bruno Fernandes. That turned out to be nonsense. Do you get where I'm coming from? So I'm not. If it was just the Sports Witness that were reporting it, I wouldn't even give it that much attention. But it's the fact that RTP Sport, and the more I'm looking here, they are highly regarded as a credible organization that don't just print sort of tit for tat sort of nonsense. So that's in the back of my mind, if you get where I'm coming from. But who knows? What's your thoughts on it, mate? Anyway, I'd love to hear from you.
Who, Stevie or me?
Yourself, mate. Go on.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it will happen, to be honest with you, because since when have we been that club that we are linked with a player 2 hours before and 2 hours after we have signed him, or it's if someone credible is tweeting about it? We are not that club. We take time in deals. We try to get the price down. So I don't think it is credible at all.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I don't disagree with your logic. I think your logic holds up and makes a hell of a lot of sense. Second part of this, would you like Raúl Jiménez at Manchester United? Would he improve Manchester United?
Of course he would. I mean, of course he would. He's a top-class striker. I think it's his stats are there to say. I think he's a very good striker. I like Jimenez, but I think I would prefer a more interchangeable front three, to be honest with you.
I understand that. I think I look at Raúl Jiménez as being a much better version of Ighalo. And Ighalo isn't there for his versatility. I think the likes of Ighalo are there to... Again, I don't even want to be disrespectful to Raúl Jiménez. If I look at Ighalo, if I look forward into next season, when we play at home against the bottom 6 or 7 teams, with the quality that we should have, I'm happy for Agallo to start those games as the striker, because I still think we'll have enough to beat them. Raúl Jiménez would just improve Man United further, as an example. But I do get your point about wanting that kind of versatile move. Monstar CFC, Chelsea fan in the house. What's your thoughts on these rumours, mate? Do you think they're a complete pack of nonsense, or do you think maybe they hold a bit of credibility? What's your opinion, mate?
Don't believe it, man. Think about it. Man United are going to splash a good 100 and something on Sancho. They're looking to get Grealish. Grealish is going to get expensive if they do get him. And imagine what the fee Wolves will quote for Raúl Jiménez. It will be astronomical.
Yeah, mate, I totally get that. I think what you're talking there makes a hell of a lot of sense as well. When we had on the show earlier, Daniel Harris, who was talking about the Sancho deal. Again, he works, directly for The Guardian. He's a journalist. He, has a lot of insight and sort of contacts at these clubs. He was saying that he looks at Man United and thinks, 3 deals maximum. And even then, the club's going to have to, before the third signing, there's a large element of how much, who can we get out? How much money can we recoup? Because the Glazers are not just going to drop 250 million pound boom, straight out there. And I tend to agree. We've got to raise at least 40 to 50 million in player sales.
Exactly.
And at least 40 to 50 million in the recouping of salaries. And again, this is where it becomes really intricate. And I had a big debate all day today with people about player valuations. KPMG are more expensive than these guys. Well, the thing is, there's about 5 or 6 consultancies that are taken seriously by football clubs. They all have a varying degree of valuations. Now, if you're selling somebody, you want to use the valuer who is going to value the player at the most valuable. If you're buying someone, you're going to take the opinions of the consultancy that value players at the lowest amount. So, a lot of rivals of Man United are going to know we need to sell Smalling, Jones, Pereira. So they're going to come in and offer really low. They're going to offer as low as possible. They're going to say, right, we know you want off the books. There's 5 million quid. We might want 10, 12 million. But you get to that point where it's like, we sell them all for 5 million, 6 million each. At least we raise 35 million. If we try and get 12 million each, 13 million each as an average figure, we might only get rid of 2 of them. And then we're left with the wages of the others. It becomes it's why there's so much work to get done. And fans that think, you just got to work on one deal at a time and it should be easy. You're off your head. We're trying to sign 4 players and we're trying to sell about 7. It's a massive amount of work.
Also, I don't think signing a striker right now is Man United's priority. I don't think they're in. I think they're considering obviously their midfield and their right wing or right midfield. That's their priority right now. I don't think a striker is really a priority for them.
And we just extended Igalo's loan till January, didn't we? So why would we go for a striker in the summer?
Mate, again, that's another great point. We're going to get a Cameron in a minute. One thing I would also say as well is, having worked alongside Wolverhampton Wanderers for a while and looking at their plans, why Nuno joined, they don't strike me as a selling club. I mean, what feels more logical here is Wolves are just strengthening their squad. Like, if Wolves really want to become this Champions League team they're talking about, they need to buy this. I've not heard of this Paulinho. I'm not going to lie. They need to buy him and add him to Jota, Raúl Jiménez as an example, Neto. They can't be taking away. Like, you're never going to progress if you're doing that. So it's going to be an interesting one. Cameron, what's your thoughts and feelings on this, mate?
Hey, man. So, a few things. Like, I'm going to say, like, off of that, I don't think it'll happen. But with that being said, I want to explain why the rationale around why it could. When you connect the dots, kind of, you have, like, just looking at all the rumors that have been flying around, you had the Mexican coach come out of nowhere the other week or so, talk about Raúl Jiménez to United. It was out of nowhere. And everybody was like, why are you talking about it? Like, people were saying he's trying to raise his own profile. Then you have obviously Aston Villa staying up now and Grealish being quoted at 80 million. So there is, in my world, when I think about it, a world where you think of, if we were to get an injury to Pogba or Bruno, and we can't get that midfielder in who would be their backup or somebody who could step right in, you have to switch your formation. And the best way to, the one way to do that would be bringing in a striker like Raúl Jiménez and running 4-4-2. That way you mitigate losing that creative midfielder. You add a striker who's very good at holding the ball up, who's also got kind of that link-up play. So it gives you kind of that new option that, honestly, all he's been looking for. Like, if you look at Agallo, yeah, sure, we extended his loan, but let's be honest, like, we all know Agallo is more of a stopgap. a guy like Raúl Jiménez is somebody who, when he comes in, you're not like, oh, we're in trouble. You think, all right, we still can go out and win that game against a City or a Liverpool or whatnot. You're not starting in a Gallo against a City, Liverpool, or any of those teams expecting to win. But if you have to change your formation and start Raúl Jiménez, or if Martial goes down, which has been, let's be honest, he's missed games multiple seasons, you're not thinking, oh, we now have to worry about Greenwood being young and leaving the line for 3-4 weeks. You have that Raúl Jiménez. And so maybe they're looking at the Grealish price saying, okay, 80 million for Grealish now. Instead, we can spend 60 million on Jimenez. And as much as we're saying, yes, I agree, Wolves shouldn't be a selling club, are they going to turn down 60 million for a 29-year-old striker? Like, are they truly going to turn that money away if that is something we're putting on the table? So that's my rationale on why I believe it could be true, but I don't think it'll happen because, let's be honest,
I mean, again, what I always say to these situations, your rationale makes sense, and that's all I ever really ask for from people. For what it's worth, is that rationale makes logical sense. It's interesting, really, you say that though, because the one formation that people have said has caught Liverpool out of late and caused Liverpool problems of late has been the 4-4-1-1, which is essentially a 4-4-2. Maybe that's in the mindset of Ollie, and I'm not saying it is, but maybe there's this thought of a lot of teams now play 4-3-3. A lot of teams use their fullbacks as one of their main attacking outlets, but maybe the coaches are seeing that actually when you play a 4-4-1-1 against these teams, you can nullify them. Maybe, as you say, maybe there's some rationale to this thought process of doing that. Who knows? I would love Raúl Jiménez at Man United. I think he gives us great options, great versatility. He gives us an impact. My two biggest issues with the deal are it's come out of absolutely nowhere in relation to everything. And secondly, it's more, I'm sitting here thinking everything everybody has said, I think has made a lot of sense. It's what I love about our community here at the Football Terrace. It's about discussing these things as opposed to just putting out a tweet and saying it is what it is. And by the way, all the haters in the comments, just go over to your favorite little channel. They're going live soon. They don't give you a voice. They don't let you speak. We do that. We're not clickbaiting. We're just chatting about the news here, bros. Take care of yourselves. Love you loads. From my point of view, it's just a case of Wolverhampton Wanderers are the biggest issue for me in all this. I don't feel like they're going to sell, if that makes sense. Who's got music in the background there? Sorry.
Hold on. Just give me a sec.
No worries, bro.
Do you think Man United would spend 60 million on?
I don't think they would. I think if you're Man United, how much do we know? How much time Raúl Jiménez has? No problem. Do you know how much time Jiménez has left on his contract?
I can find out.
It's 2 years more.
I can find out here. He only signed in the summer. He only signed last summer permanently.
Yeah, that's the case. Then I think we would spend 50 to 60 million because if you don't have to you don't have to give him like a much improved contract past what he has. And again, I just think he's such a proven Premier League striker. Like we've seen us talk about, bringing in Harry Kane wouldn't hurt us. Bringing in all these other big names. Well, I think you don't want to go as big as Harry Kane because you already have the guys up there up front.
There's not a massive difference between Jimenez and Kane as well.
But it reminds me of like the Dwight York, Andy Cole time where you had two legitimate, like you have stars up there. You don't need to always think about a guy. If Raúl Jiménez is looking at Wolves right now and saying, you know what, this year we had the best year we could have ever had, and we still finished short of Man United, who had a terrible year and are only going to get better, and I want to win things. What's stopping him if he sees this go out there and out in the world? Maybe he's going to, saying, hey man, if United come in for me, let me go. And that's why this has happened. Who knows? We don't know. This would be a stroke of genius if this came out of nowhere and it actually happened. It would show something that it would also show once again that Ollie has influenced how we do transfers.
Yeah, I get that. Guys, what I would say just quickly on that, let's just go backtrack a few seconds. We've had a few other callers on as well that I want to speak to. This is where it gets really tricky. Raúl Jiménez is, I haven't checked with all the consultancies. I've just logged into KPMG's. So I haven't looked at KPMG's yet because it's giving me trouble logging in, but I just logged in at the Deloitte tracker that I have. I've then just gone and looked at two other consultancy sites. His valuation ranges from 27 to 36 million, depending on which of those companies you listen to. So let's just maximize it at the highest we can see. We'll look above the median. We'll say 36 million is the highest valuation. 36 million for a 29-year-old who has 3 years left on his contract. Again, maybe I'm putting my financial head on here. I wouldn't want to spend more than 45 million pound would be the maximum that I would be prepared to spend on Raúl Jiménez, as an example.
I think Wolves would demand more, to be honest.
No, they would, but that isn't my point. Again, if we're going to give opinions, I wouldn't want to spend more than that. If Ollie and Man United think it's worth that, then fair play. Let's see how he delivers. We've added Josh to the call. Josh, what do you want to say, mate?
I think Jimenez. Pussy!
What the hell?
What the hell?
What was that?
Is that the same guy as before?
Do you know this guy literally makes? Imagine. Do you know what? It is a compliment, because this guy literally makes a new account every day just to come on and say that on my channel. Imagine how in love he is with me. Imagine what he does to my videos when he's alone in his bedroom by himself. It's a kind of compliment in there a little bit as well. But there we go.
Weird. I've never heard this guy before. Is this guy regular?
Yeah, he probably comes on once every now and he comes on once a day and tries. But what we just do is we normally just block his accounts, and then once we block his accounts, it can't be done. We've got a few more new. We had a guy. I don't know what your name is on here. It's something ready, because it's all loads of letters together. What's your name, mate?
Yegendrin.
Yes, there we go, bro. What's your name?
Yegendrin.
Who do you support? Hello, you can speak?
Yeah, I said you.
Okay, Elite KJ is on the line. Elite KJ, you're in the Midlands. You're in that area of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel credible to you? What are the local newspapers saying that tend to have quite a good relationship with the clubs at that level?
They've said nothing, bro. They've said this is not really something that has been on the cards. It's been rumored throughout the season, but it's never really been concrete or something that people say, yeah, it's got to happen. Even my Wolverhampton friends are kind of like, yeah, like it ain't happening. Jimenez is gonna stay. So it's just kind of like it just makes no sense for Wolves to do this, because if they're really trying to get Champions League, which everyone knows that they are, you don't sell your most informed best striker for a guy that is unproven in the Prem. You just don't do that. You add the guy from outside the Prem into the squad, let him develop, and then when your main striker is done in 2-3 years potentially, then you elevate that person who's behind him and then sell Jimenez. But it just doesn't make no sense. It just doesn't make no sense to me.
Also, can I just say, no one's mentioned that Man United's been building up young players. So they're going for young players and trying to build them up. Raúl Jiménez doesn't really fit that profile of what Man United's doing right now, if you get what I'm saying.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
You know, the gap between them and Liverpool, though, maybe if you're going to get Grealish and Sancho, and then maybe they think Jimenez could be something else to sort of close that gap. And maybe they are thinking that way.
Here's the thing about Jimenez, like,
yeah.
He's a very good footballer. He's a very good striker, and he's proven it. But if you look at his record before he came to Wolves, it was terrible. It's actually terrible.
Atletico Madrid, it was horrible.
At Benfica, it was terrible. I remember watching him when we played him in Europe, and he was literally, I was like, who's this guy? He's dead. And he came to the Premier League. But I really think that Jimenez is a system player. He works well in Wolves' system, and he gets the best out of him. Now, if it comes to United, will he necessarily fit the system?
I mean, Salah was terrible at Chelsea, so it can work both ways.
Yeah, again, I think that's what we can get stuck in the weeds on a conversation like that. Will he make it? Will he not? Is he really good enough? Is he not? As I say, I can't. I want to get excited about this, but there's, like with the Sancho deal. Since I heard about it in December, I've always felt like it could, would, and will happen. I've never for one single minute felt like it's going to fall away. It felt credible from day one. Where this story, there's something in the back of my mind. There's a little niggle. There's a little bit of there's something I'm not sure about. Do you get where I'm coming from? So I can't commit to it. I can't commit to it.
Because it has come out of nowhere. It's not like it's been built up.
Absolutely. Indiana's joined the stream. Indiana, what do you want to say, bro?
This is the signing I want to see. I've been going on about a CDM, a ball-playing CDM to release Pogba, and an instinctive finisher in the box. That's what I want to see. I want to see aggressive, instinctive finishing in the box. That's what we're missing. as good as Martial's been, and the guy's been fired. Let's be honest, he's been great. His movement in the box when there's low blocks isn't as good as some instinctive players. It's just not. Jimenez
But I
is
think it's just
great
his
at that.
first season as a proper striker.
He's. I want to see a proper natural centre forward, instinctive finishes, crashing into goalkeepers, peeling off defenders, headers. That's what I want to see, and that's
But
changing it up.
you necessarily don't play that style anyway. Like, so it's one of those ones where like he would be a different option, which would be great. But does it
You
fit what
can't
we're
play
trying
that
to do?
style without that style.
Martial kind of plays the Firmino role, in my opinion. Holds the ball up and creates the chances for the wingers.
Look, I think again. I feel nothing anybody said about the player that I overly disagree with. Interesting though, since we've been live, verified football and transfer insider Graham Bailey, who writes for varying publications, it says Wolves are pushing ahead with the move for Braga striker Paulinho as they appear to be gearing up for Raúl Jiménez's departure for Molineux. Juventus and Man United have been heading the chase for the Mexican star. Now, again, he might just be chancing his arm and being like, you know what, I'm just going to put this out there because I see this circulating. But he's now saying it. It could be lazy journalism. Again, I'm not sold. As I say, there's something in the back. You know, like, you ever had like when you're arranging a night out and you've always got that one friend who says they're coming, but you kind of know they're not.
Yeah.
You know they're not coming, and they keep saying they're coming. They're in the group chat, and you're like, "Yeah, you're gonna pull out. I can feel it in my water." That's how I feel about this, bruv. Like, yeah, it don't feel real to me.
But we used to do these deals. We used to do this. We done it with Tevez. We done it with Dwight York. We used to do these deals, and that's what we've been missing. Maybe, hopefully we're going back to that, picking some proven players that aren't going to cost a fortune. Sancho's going to cost a fortune. But Jimenez isn't. And Jimenez is a good option.
I think what has happened is we were getting desperate about the Sancho story because City was signing players. Our fan base was getting a bit irritated, and we were just talking about Sancho. So maybe just put
but
up this
forget
Jimenez
no. But
story
no. Sorry, mate. So that's not our fan base getting irritated. That's Bellend's pricks and fake Man United fans. Real Man United fans know the score. Like, we're trying to sign Sancho, one of the hottest talents, one of the biggest transfer fees in the history of football. They've just paid almost double the valuation of Nathan Ake. Like that you can't compare the two pieces of business. Only a fool, only a FIFA-induced football manager, kind of addicted 12-year-old would think that those two deals are comparable and would be stressing that the fact that it's a mad, honest to God, I saw that, how come we don't get our deals done quickly? I'm looking at it thinking, do you know do you know how the Dan James deal was done so quickly? Because it was a real easy one. You're paying slightly over market value for a decent player from a really small club who knew they were going to lose him. The only reason it wasn't announced 2 or 3 weeks sooner is because, of course, the untimely passing of his father. When it comes to the big deals, where, for instance, you look at the Leicester situation. Oh, Leicester, Maguire took forever. Yeah, because Leicester wouldn't agree to the deal because they were just hoping for a bidding war, which they got in the end, which selling clubs have. You can't help that. You can't get away. By the way, people do realize that Man City get it done quickly. Man City were trying to sign Maguire for as long as Man United were. It went down to, in the end, look how long it took. The reason that United won is because we were prepared to pay the transfer fee up front rather than installments. City weren't. It took that long to get to that point because 2 teams were bidding for him. If football fans honestly, some football fans had a brain, they'd be dangerous. They'd be absolutely dangerous. I'm sorry that's cutting on that, but it's just annoying. Have you looked at Chelsea with Kai Havertz? Why is Kai Havertz taking long? Well, because they're looking at what's happening with Dortmund and Man United, because that will set a marker. The reason that Werner happened so quickly is there was a buyout clause. It's easier. Yeah. The reason that Ake, by the way, if Bournemouth would have finished 7th this year and 3 or 4 teams were after Nathan Ake, it wouldn't have been done this quickly unless you pay, like they've done, 86% above the median valuation of a player. And to put that into context, if you were to do that to add that much price to Sancho's deal, you'd be paying circa £140 million. And then what would fans do? then fans would kick off and get angry that we're overpaying too much money. You know, if we were to turn around, if we were to pay the £80 million that Villa want for Grealish, we'd have signed him by now. But then what would these same fake Man United fans be doing? We're overpaying. You prats, you're so stupid. You overpay. You don't know what you're run by idiots. But you're asking them to be.
A lot of fans get their football information from playing FIFA for one. I think that's a massive one. Like they play FIFA and they think, oh well, on FIFA this player costs this much, and do you know what I can do if I push X? There is no X in real life. You're not pushing X. Trust me, it's not happening.
I just saw loads of fans getting irritated on Twitter. So just
I get that, mate. Go on, Monster. Go on, Monster, please. I'd love to hear what you got to say.
I just want to say that this. I think these journalists are making a mistake. What it is Wolves are, like you said, Wolves are just strengthening, and they're taking it as they're trying to buy another striker to replace Jimenez. I think they're just trying to buy a striker to strengthen their squad. Like, it just doesn't make sense for them to sell their highest goal scorer this season.
Yeah,
and buy someone who's not proven.
But if the player wants to leave,
yeah.
If Man United come in, you're gonna go out. You're gonna want to go out here. Do you know what I mean? If playing for Wolves, no offense to Wolves.
I don't know if I'll believe Man United are in for him. I just don't.
Well, maybe they're not. No, but if they are, I'm just saying you'd want to go, wouldn't you? Man United come in for you.
Well, it depends, because like it's not just a cut and dry as United come and you go. It's like he's 29 years old at his stage of his career. Does he want to be bench man? If he was 34, if he was like 32,
I don't think he would. I honestly don't think he would. I guarantee, if you had a Jimenez in your side, think about this. Think about Rashford's been a bit lax lately. I think we can all agree on that. Would he be so lax if Martial is also playing on the left? If he's got a competition for places? Can we improve Greenwood by signing Sancho? Will Martial be pushed a little bit more if Jimenez is up front? When I'm going back, a lot of fans won't remember this, but back in the late 90s, we signed a player called Teddy Sheringham, right? And the guy was hot. Like, he was supposed to be he was promised the world by Man United. He was going to be the number one striker. And then this guy, Dwight York, came along, and he hit it off so well in the Premier League. He took Sheringham's place. That's pretty much what happened. And then you ended up with 4 options. You had 4 options up front with Solskjaer, Andrew Cole, Dwight York, and Teddy Sheringham. And they used to come on and off the pitch, start different games, playing different sets, and change the game. Defenses can't cope with that. It's a great option. I don't know why it wouldn't be true. Also, Nuno has said as well. Nuno did say must have been about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. I don't know if we can keep Jimenez. Now, if you know you're keeping him, you turn around and you say, we are keeping him, we are building. You say that. I can't. Can you imagine?
I think a recent example. I hear what you're saying, and I think a recent example of that is also if you look at that Leicester team. Conte moved on. What did he do? He continued to win league titles. Mars moved on, continued to win. Vardy did not move on. He had his opportunity. He didn't move on, and you look back on it, and maybe he should have. And it's like, if you're Raúl Jiménez and you look at our squad and you're thinking, I'm good enough to break into there, why would you not go to Manchester United right now? Again, I don't know if this is happening, but the rationale from the player side, if United come in for you at this stage, now that we are trending up, you don't say no, I don't think. To stay at Wolves.
I agree, 100%. And Champions League, you're guaranteed Champions League. He's 29 years old, so he's in his prime. For me, as a striker, with the experience he's got, I think he's well suited. I'd love him at United. But
you're not taking into account that Man United are Wolves are gonna try hold Man United to ransom. They're gonna demand a huge fee for him. He's not gonna come in cheap.
Seriously, pay it.
Nah, they would
you
want
say
£60 million at least.
Yeah, the problem.
Pay it.
Yeah, go on, Monster.
With what they're gonna pay for Sancho and who else and possibly Grealish. Come on.
Yeah, again, that's where I come out on that and say, listen, I'd love him at the Man United, but I still think there are 2 or 3 other positions, central midfield, centre of defence, as examples, which are more pressing. And it would again. I don't want to be negative about the potential of excellent players joining the club, but balance is key. And but again, it depends who's available. You know, in the sense of, again, as fans, it's always about what we want. Why do we? I keep seeing this. Why do we want Grealish when Van der Beek's available? Easy. Does Van der Beek want to come to Man United? Because if he doesn't, it's a complete and utter, not like I said, you could be going out using Tinder. You've seen a girl 3 or 4 times and she's quite nice. All your friends go, she's lovely. But are you sure you want to go out with her? Because I've just heard a little rumor, that Michelle Keegan's single. And it's like, yeah, but she don't know who I am and she don't fancy me. Yeah, but why would you tie yourself down with her when there are other women out there that are available? Yeah, but those other women don't know who I am. I'm never going to meet them. They don't. Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense. If Van der Beek doesn't want to join Man United, his price, his availability, his techers, his ability, your personal opinion on him means absolutely nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. So, again, maybe we sign Jimenez, maybe we sign Sancho, maybe we sign Van der Beek. And well, why don't we sign a centre back? Maybe the centre back we're after isn't available this year. Maybe we've got to wait 12 months to get him, and Ollie doesn't want. And again, proves. I always look at it from a long-term point of view. One thing we all raved about Klopp is that when he didn't get his number one and 2, 3 targets, he just waited for them to be available. And in the long term, everyone's gone, oh, what an amazing manager. He didn't just go, oh, okay, we'll get somebody else instead. Yeah, if Man United don't sign the players you want, it's because we don't know what we're doing. And I granted, over the last 6 or 7 years, there's an argument for that because we have struggled. But no one can argue that since Ollie's come in, the transfer business has been a lot better. So I'm just willing to give whatever Ollie does, I'm willing to wait until the proof's in the pudding before I judge it. I'll give it a mark out of 10 for what I see, but I'm not going to do what a lot of these fake Man United fans are, these charlatans, these pretenders, and he's trash, the season's over. That's what they'll do. They don't get the players they want. Forget who we sign. If they don't get the players they want, by the way, for the price they want, it will become a negative agenda, and we're not about that on here. Just to let everyone know as well, the news that Man United have agreed £60 million up front for Jadon Sancho. Daniel Harris, the Guardian journalist, tweeted about this yesterday. We were the first publication outside of the Guardian to run a story on this. We did the YouTube channel. It has now gone, I think it's now in 7 different British newspapers and about 13 online publications. Other YouTube channels now running with that story. So a big thank you to all of you that tuned in today to help get that story trending. But it was the Football Terrace that broke it. We had the source, Daniel Harris, on here. So if you haven't seen that yet, go watch it after this video. It's literally on our homepage, just titled Deal Agreed. Man United agrees 60 million fee for Jadon Sancho. I know other YouTube channels are about to go live with that story, but the Football Terrace broke it on social media. Robert Jones here with a super chat says Simon Peach has been on the United stand a few times, quite credible, done an interview with Flex, another great YouTube channel like yourself. Listen, Robert, absolutely Flex, one of the best YouTubers out there, great guy, United stand. We know how big they are. We know how brilliant that platform is. We know they get brilliant interviews, so big shout out to them. Absolutely. Let's see a few more of these live comments, see what people are saying here. I don't know what people are saying here. Ignore the spammers. Oh, listen, I'm not worried. Listen, we've got loads of spammers on here today because we broke a couple of big stories before their favorite YouTube channels have. That's cool. Sorry, mate.
Terry, I got to ask you something.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I first heard about the 60 million story about Sancho, I thought that that's too low. I mean, it is from a credible journalist, as you said, as he was on your channel. Do you personally think that 60 million is believable from your personal point of view?
Well, it's just up front.
That's 60 mil up front.
Yeah, I mean,
Hang on. Whoa.
I thought.
Yeah, it's 60 mil up front plus 60 mil. This is euro, by the way, not pounds. And that's going to be over the course of the contract. Now, the reason I think it's credible is that's how the vast majority of that's how the vast majority of transfer deals are done. So it's not, most are paid. There is a deposit made up front, and then the remainder is paid over the course of the contract. Sometimes that deposit is just that first year's money, as an example. It really does sort of depend. So it would make perfect sense. I mean, it fits when you listen to the financial experts we've had on. It completely fits in with how transfers are done. It doesn't feel out of the norm, if that makes sense. But to everyone that stands,
I get that. I just thought that upfront it was too low. I just thought at the start that.
No, I mean, for me, as an upfront fee, if you're gonna pay, it's half of it. That's rare. But what's the only thing that's rarer than that is paying the whole thing up front. That very rarely happens. And if you can pay by cash, you tend to get generally teams. That's why Man City pay a lot of theirs up front. To be fair, because Man City have got a lot of cash. And you actually get a better deal. If you can offer a team the cash up front in their bank account, that's, like City have always had the 50, 60 million pound signings, nothing much above it. That's because they offer cash. But the old fashioned term we have in the UK is, do I get a discount for cash? Most companies give you a discount for cash. It's as simple as that. But boys, I appreciate you all coming on, having your say. Cheers. Everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Hit the like button and share. But remember, we're coming back tomorrow. FA Cup final preview. Chelsea versus Arsenal. We're going to have Nita on. Monstar have to reach. Yeah.
Terry, say one thing. Two things. First thing, that interview today was incredible. If you haven't seen it, you need to go and watch that. That was brilliant. And the second thing is people hating on the Sancho price. I'm telling you now, he will sell more shirts than Pepe ever will.
Bro, and he'll win us stuff. Listen, so tomorrow we're going to do the FA Cup preview. Monstar will reach out to you, bro, get you on. That's going to be an interesting show, no doubt about it. But everyone who's tuned in, please listen. Nearly 2,000 of you watching right now. Another massive day for us today. Nearly 200,000 views in one day as a channel, which is amazing. Everyone hit that like button for us right now. We really do need your support with that. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the retweet button, and we'll see you all again very, very soon. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. I'm just looking for the button to switch off, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.